Hello and welcome to this short lecture on thalidomide. The story of thalidomide started in 1957 when it was released to the market as a non-barbiturate over-the-counter analgesic. So it was basically used to relieve pain. But they also found out that it was particularly effective in relieving morning sicknesses, flu, and the colds in pregnant women. So more women started taking thalidomide, which resulted in the increasing demand of that drug by pregnant women. However, in 1960, pregnant women who were under the influence of thalidomide started giving birth to infants with several tragic birth defects, such as having no arms, no legs, and several other malformations. So, in 1961, researchers started looking for the explanation to all those birth defects, and they got to the conclusion that thalidomide was the underlying factor behind that tragedy. And therefore, thalidomide was soon withdrawn from the market. All that put scientists in a really bad situation, as they were demanded to find out why such teratogenic drug was ever released to the market with ignorance to such severe side effects. So they had to go back to where it all started in 1950 when the drug was undergoing safety control tests, where they would find out that such drugs had to only succeed in one test, which was the LD50 test, lethal dose test, where they examined gradually increasing doses of the drug until they found the lethal dose, and they would render the drug safe or unsafe based on the amount of that lethal dose. Thalidomide was released to the market because it had successfully passed the LD50 test. But all that was not enough to satisfy the crying mothers that had to watch their children with birth defects. So they had to go beyond and find the real reason behind the side effects of thalidomide. None of the theories were successful until 1966, where a new field of chemistry was gaining popularity. Stereochemistry, which is a branch of chemistry that deals with the spatial orientation of chemical substances. And as you can see, this chemical compound has a molecular formula of 6 carbons and 14 hydrogens. But that's not accurate, because you can have different molecules having the same molecular formula, and they are called isomers. Now, isomers can be classified into constitutional and stereoisomers, where each one have different properties. Stereoisomers can also be classified into geometric and optical isomers. We can go further into details of optical isomers and discuss chirality. So we can say that optical isomers need to be chiral molecules that have non-superimposable mirror images of each other. And we say that a molecule is chiral when it has different groups attached to all possible bonds. Nitrogen can also be chiral. Optical isomers can be further classified into enantiomers, which have identical chemical properties and physical properties, and diastereomers, which are the opposite, so they have different chemical and physical properties. All that is pharmacologically significant because different isomers can lead to different effects, which can be dangerous. With all that knowledge, scientists analyzed thalidomide, only to find out that it actually has S and R isomers, and they can be identified easily by arranging the bound groups and determining whether the rotation is clockwise or counterclockwise, just like the following video.
حلقة شفت المجسم يدور تحداكم.
Now scientists also managed to find out the isomer that caused the disaster, which was the S isomer, by the following mechanism. The simplified mechanism of action goes as follows. When a pregnant woman ingests thalidomide, the R isomer binds to a carrier and gets transported to the site of action, where it works to relieve morning sicknesses and other similar conditions. However, the S isomer travels across the placental barrier where it alters the function of a certain complex and sends a signal through G protein coupled receptors that result in a teratogenic effect. Thalidomide now, after the S isomer was identified and separated from the R isomer, it was approved by the FDA to treat leprosy and myeloma. I hope you all enjoyed this short lecture on thalidomide and thank you for watching.